Hello and welcome to Clevy News Desk. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. I am Florence Joshua. A mother of three has committed suicide after dumping her children at a police station in Enugu State. The woman, whose name could not be ascertained, walked into the Ogi Road police station with the children, handed them over to the officers, stripped herself naked, and ran under a moving vehicle, which crushed her to death. The ages of the three children are reportedly 6, 4, and 2. Her husband was alleged to have run away from home months ago over increased hardship, abandoning the wife and the children. When asked about their father, the eldest of the children simply said he was lost. She could not give any information about their family, town, or residential address. The wife of Enugu State Governor, Nkechinyere Mba, who rushed to the police station after learning about the incident, was told that the woman might have suffered depression. Mba, who was touched by the development, said she would take care of the children and train them from nursery school to university. She announced that sponsorship for the children will be undertaken by a Custo Care Foundation. Mba also directed the immediate relocation of the children from the station to a home where the state government would take care of them. She urged people who suffer from depression to seek counseling and avoid rash decisions. She also urged the Commissioner, the Ministry of Children, Gender and Social Development, Ngozi Ene, to intensify sensitization and counseling, especially for the depressed. Former Emir of Kano State, Muhammad Sanusi, has narrated several encounters he had with Dr. Herbert Wike, late Chief Executive Officer of Access Holdings. Speaking at the night of tribute organized in honor of Wike at Echo Hotels in Lagos on Wednesday, Sanusi broke down in tears, narrating how far he went with the deceased. Sanusi said because he knew he would get into trouble easily, he surrounds himself with loyal friends. In his words, Sanusi said, "When I had problems in Kano, I called him about 6 months before I was to leave Kano, and I said to him, Herbert, I know you will give all your best to solve all these problems, but I am convinced this is what is going to happen." And he said to me, "Your Highness, don't worry. Whatever happens, don't worry, we are here for you." Wigwe died in a helicopter crash in California, United States of America on February 9, 2024. His wife, Doreen, son, Chizzy, and former managing director of Nigerian Exchange Group, Abimbola Ogunbajo, were also on board the ill-fated aircraft alongside two pilots. The Gombe State chairman of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Rambi Ibrahim, has called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and other policymakers to step up and act swiftly to reduce the current hardship in the land. Ibrahim, who made the call in the Abuja studio of Clearview, noted that if hunger is not promptly addressed, it may spiral and have negative multiplier effect in the country. Clearview News' Imofon Okon has the details.
Since the assumption of President Tinubu's administration, Nigeria has been battling with rising inflation, from food to forex crisis, economic hardship, and high cost of living occasioned by the removal of petrol subsidy, attracting protests in many parts of the country. Many citizens have taken to the streets to register their displeasure with Tinubu's style of leadership. Angry Nigerians have since protested in Niger, Oyo, Osun, among other states, asking the federal government to take decisive steps to bring the hardship to an end. The Gombe State chairman of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Rambi Ibrahim, who lent his voice on the burning issue, said, "No doubt, the ravaging hunger in the land is making people angry at the government and its actions." In his words of advice for the government, Rambi said there is need for those in authority to act fast before things fully get out of hand.
Well, I think to the government need to step up and act swiftly. There is truly hunger in the land. And this hunger might build up to anger, might build up to resentment, might bet a number of things. So, like the revelation that we've just heard from the Senate president, 30 billion naira given to all the state governors in the 36 states of the federation. I mean, you can just imagine what the impact it will create in terms of maybe getting palliatives to the average person with using that amount, maybe short time, and then work towards also creating a long-term solution to that. I mean, everybody is beginning to feel the pinch of this hunger that is so prevalent in the land. So for our policymakers, those who are in authority, it behoves on them to be fair, to be just, to look at this, to have a feeling. I mean, you are talking about people who voted you into power. People have given you the opportunity to govern, and so you should look back and begin to take effort, the decisive effort that will really make people begin to feel the impact of governance. But if that is not done, of course, your guess is as good as mine as to what will happen. I mean, in Nigeria, nobody is praying for that. And this is not something that somebody will now begin to say, God forbid. No, it is not God forbid that will solve the issue, but it is our conscious effort. The challenges we are having today is being taken care of. The excuses we keep hearing today is that because of the soaring value of the dollar against the naira, and that since we are a dependent economy, and that gives rise to some of the challenges we are seeing. Well, from between now and when subsidy was removed, that money that has been recouped, the resources that has been recouped as a result of the removal of subsidy, I think government should be act fast by using those resources to ensure that the average person in Nigeria, in Kauranamora, in Oguta, in Ogulore, or in every part of the country, feels the impact of governance and feels if we are all well taken care of, we could afford our basic needs. I don't think that we'll have this kind of agitation that we could feel that is building up.
Economic observers say the policies of the present administration have subjected many Nigerians to suffer untold economic hardship with soaring inflation, leaving many people struggling to afford their daily bread. Imefon reporting for Clever News.
At least 24 states of the Federation will not be able to pay workers' salary this year without having to wait for federal allocations from the central government. Only 11 out of the 36 state governments of the Federation can independently pay their workers' salary without depending on federal allocations, according to an analysis of the state government approved budget for the 2024 fiscal year. The states with robust internal revenue are Lagos, Kano, Anambra, Edo, Enugu, Imo, Kaduna, Kwara, Osun, Ogun, and Zamfara. The approved budget are also contained in Open State, a budget pack website that serves as a repository of government budget data. While the budget of 35 states have been made public, Rivers State budget could not be accessed, neither has it been uploaded. The development is coming amidst clamor for wage increase by labor unions at both the federal and state levels, following the rising cost of living on the aftermath of fuel subsidy removal and unification of the foreign exchange market by the current administration. The Nigerian Labour Congress has consistently maintained that if inflation continues to rise, the organized labor may have no choice but to insist on a new minimum wage of 1 billion naira for Nigerian workers. The government, however, has rejected the demand in the first half of 2023. State government borrowed about 46.17 billion naira from banks to pay salaries between January and June 2023. The findings were based on analysis of the half-year 2023 financial statement of Access Bank plc, Fidelity Bank and Zenith Bank plc. The FCT Minister Nyesom Wike says the Abuja Rail Mass Transit project is 95% completed and will be ready for inauguration in May. Wike stated this when the Belgium ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Daniel Bertrand, visited him in Abuja on Wednesday. The minister explained that the feat was part of efforts to improve public transportation in the federal capital, Abuja. He acknowledged that the deficit in public transportation constituted security challenges in the city, adding that most of the operators were not registered. He expressed concerns that most residents did not know the vehicle they were boarding as efforts were ongoing to ensure all public transport operators were registered. The minister added that government had concluded plans to build taxis and bus terminals where residents could patronize registered and identified operators. Another Nigerian chef, Tatege Victor also known as Chief Naira Victor, has set a new Guinness World Record for the longest cooking marathon by an individual after completing a 135-hour cookathon. 35-year-old chef Naira Victor surpassed Irish chef Alan Fisher's 119 hours and 57 minutes record to claim the same title the fellow Nigerian chef Hilda Bassi had clinched in May 2023. Clever News Imofon Okon tells us more.
Chef Naira Victor is a native of the Tiv tribe and hails from Konshisha local government area of Benue State. In line with his dreams of feeding the internally displaced persons and making his state proud, Chef Naira Victor reportedly commenced a 135-hour cookathon attempt for the longest cooking marathon by an individual on February 27, 2024 and ended on March 3rd. During the cookathon, he donated over 70% of his prepared food to the internally displaced persons in the state. The 30-year-old chef Naira Victor, who is also the owner of Naira Victor Restaurant in Delta State, where he resides, surpassed the current title holder, Irish chef Alan Fisher's 119 hours and 57 minutes to reclaim the same title a fellow Nigerian chef, Hilda Bassi, had clinched in May 2023. The 6-day event witnessed various Benue-born celebrities, government officials, and local brands who showed their support for the young chef, both financially and by their physical presence. Upon the successful completion of the 135-hour cookathon last Sunday, the chef was welcomed by the state governor at the government house, where he reportedly expressed his appreciation to the chef for his courage and diligence. Recall that an Irish restaurant owner, Alan Fisher, on November 7, 2023 dethroned Nigerian chef Hilda Bassi as the record holder of the longest cooking marathon record. Imefon Okon, reporting for Clever News.
You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Clever News Text, or via handle on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Clearview Online.